Hello friends, today we are going to discuss ANOVA, analysis of variance. In the previous lecture, we discussed on hypothesis testing, and in that lecture actually we covered the part of basic statistics. We actually recapitulated some fundamental statistical concepts. Now, here in this lecture, we will discuss analysis of variance. In the previous lecture, when we discussed about hypothesis testing, in that case, we didn't talk about dependent and independent variables. But here, in case of ANOVA, we will talk about dependent and independent variables. So we will discuss ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, and also MANOVA. ANOVA means analysis of variance, and MANOVA means multivariate analysis of variance. In one-way ANOVA, we will have one dependent variable and one independent variable. Whereas in two-way ANOVA, you will have one dependent variable and two independent variables. Similarly, if you consider three-way ANOVA, there will be one dependent variable and three independent variables. If you consider four-way ANOVA, there will be one dependent variable and four independent variables, and so on. And in case of MANOVA, or multivariate analysis of variance, we will have more than one response variable or dependent variables. That we'll see later. So, what does ANOVA do, and why actually we are considering ANOVA? You can see here in this picture that the test statistic of ANOVA compares differences between sample means, sample means, and that means between groups mean square, and scatter of data within samples. It means within groups mean square. So the sample, so here in this picture, you can see this picture that the difference between the means of different groups and the difference between the mean within the group, these are actually compared. So basically, in ANOVA, we compare means of more than two groups. If we want to compare means between two groups, then we can use t-test. Okay. But if there are more than two groups, suppose here you can see that there are three groups, three curve for three groups. So if we want to consider or compare more than two groups, then instead of t-test, we can use ANOVA. But ANOVA means analysis of variance. So the question comes that what is the test statistic? The test statistic for ANOVA is F. And we have seen earlier that F statistic is the ratio of the standard deviations, sorry, the variances. F statistic compares the ratio of the variances we have seen earlier. So the question here comes that in this case, why we would like to compare the variances when we are actually trying to compare the mean. So the answer is this, that focus on the means are different aspect. In ANOVA, we would like to say, we would like to test whether means are different among the groups. So focus on the means are different aspect. This part explicitly involves the variation of the group means. If there is no variation in the means, they cannot be different, right? Similarly, the larger the differences between the means, the more variation must be present. ANOVA and F tests assess the amount of variability between the group means in the context of the variation within groups to determine whether the mean differences are statistically significant. So basically, you can see that using ANOVA or doing the F test, we compare the amount of variability between the group means. So that's why we are able to find out the comparison among the group means. That's why we can compare the variability and we can use the F test. And F test and ANOVA, these techniques or these methods were first introduced or discovered by a famous statistician, a famous British statistician, Ronald Fisher. He was one of the pioneers in the area of statistics. So now we will use some terminologies that we will use when we will describe the example. But before the illustration, just have a look at these terminologies and some concepts. SST, it means total sum of squares. SSB, sum of squares between groups. SSW means sum of squares within groups. And DOF means degrees of freedom. So SST, SSB and SSW, they are actually the measures of variation. Okay, they are actually the measures of variation. Here you can see that that we will later on we will see. So SST, total sum of square, is given by SSB plus SSW, sum of square between plus sum of square within. And then the degrees of freedom for SST, total degrees of freedom, is equal to degrees of freedom for sum of square between and sum of square within. sum of square between SSB and SSW, sum of square within, can be calculated to see how much the total variation is due to the variation within the samples and how much of the total variation is due to the variation between the samples. M is equal to number of columns and small n is equal to number of rows. And the degrees of freedoms can be determined by finding the number of independent elements we are dealing with. The other element can be calculated from the values of the independent elements and the grand mean of the matrix. This part we will illustrate when we will describe the example. So degrees of freedom while calculating the total sum of square is n into n minus 1 because we are considering all the elements of the matrix. Degrees of freedom while calculating SSW is m into n minus 1 because we are considering m columns each having n minus 1 numbers of independent elements. And degrees of freedom while calculating SSB, sum square between, is simply m minus 1 because we are only considering the sample means of m columns. In analysis of variance ANOVA, F statistic is the ratio of two chi-square distribution having same or different degrees of freedom. And we will actually, the sum of square part, when we will calculate the F statistic, the sum of square part that is divided by the degrees of freedom to determine the ratio. For comparing more than two population means, we use ANOVA instead of multiple t-test as the significance level gets inflated, increasing the possibility of type 1 error. This has an illustration part. You should just know that we cannot use multiple t-test. Rather than using multiple t-test, we can use ANOVA because this explanation part is not actually required for the quality control approaches. So you just know that if you have more than two groups and if you want to compare their means, then you should use ANOVA instead of multiple t-tests. Now take a look at this example. This is an example of one-way ANOVA. You can see that there are three groups. Okay. And from each group we are taking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 samples. From each group we are taking 3 samples. And here you are applying maybe some medicine, maybe some vaccine you are applying, or some food you are implementing. So suppose you are implementing some vaccine. So the vaccine, it is 3 different types of vaccines you are using. So these 3 different vaccines, they are actually the independent variable. Okay. And sorry, you are using one particular vaccine, but you are applying it to 3 different groups. Okay. So and you are estimating these results. So the results that you are finding, that is actually the response variable or the dependent variable. So suppose it might be some particular chemical level in your blood, or it could be any kind of response variable that you are interested to deal with. So what will be your null hypothesis? This is your null hypothesis, that the medicine or the food or the vaccine that you are implementing, it has, it does not have, it does not produce any difference between or among the means. So mu1 is equal to mu2 is equal to mu3. So this means these are mu values are representing the population mean. That means the vaccine has no effect, because in all the groups you are getting the same mean. So the vaccine or the food or the medicine has no effect. Now the alternative hypothesis will state you that the medicine or the food or the vaccine, it has some effect depending on the type of the response variable. So all these means are not equal, or some of the means may not be equal. So this is your null hypothesis and this is your alternative hypothesis, and you are your alpha value or your the it is 0.10. Okay, alpha value is your 0.10. So your confidence level is actually, you are considering this, you would like to perform this test at a confidence level of 90%. Okay, so now take a look at this thing, that how this is done. So first you are calculating the mean of the first group. The mean of the first group is 2. X1 bar is equal to 2. Okay. Now you are considering the second group. So the second group, it is also the X2 bar is equal to 4. So here also it is, this is the average or the mean value. The X3 bar, it is equal to 6. So you can compute the grand mean. So what will be the grand mean? The grand mean is 4. 2 plus 4 plus 6 divided by 3. So you can calculate the grand mean. Now you are going to find out SST, that means total sum of square. So your grand mean is 4. So if you consider the total sum of square, then you need to subtract each element of this matrix from the grand mean, and ultimately you are getting the result of 30. This is your total sum of square. And what will be your degrees of freedom? M into n minus 1. M is here 3, the number of columns. N is the number of rows. 3 into 3, 9, minus 1, degrees of freedom is equal to 8. Okay. So what actually the degrees of freedom, what it means? The degrees of freedom means, here in this matrix, 3 cross 3 matrix, there are 9 elements. So how many independent elements are there? The independent number of elements is equal to 8, because if you are given, out of these 9 numbers, if you are given any 8 numbers, and if you are also given the grand mean, you can easily compute the 9th element of the matrix. So that's why your degrees of freedom here is 8. Okay. So this is your total degrees of freedom. Now you will compute the sum of square between. Sum of square between means you are going to compute the variation within particular groups. Okay. So what is that? So sorry, not within that group, between the group. So sum of square between, we are calculating SSB, that means sum of square between. So here the mean is, for the first group the mean is 2 and the grand mean is 4. So you need to subtract this mean from the grand mean. Okay. Or the opposite also you can do, 4 minus 2 or 2 minus 4. Both are same because you are doing square. So even if it is a negative value, you will get the positive value. That's why here you can do 2 minus 4 whole square, and this you need to do for 3 times because there are 3 elements. Here the mean is 4 and the grand mean is 4. So 4 minus 4. But doing this for 3 times because there are 3 elements. Similarly, here also your mean is 6 for this group and the grand mean is 4. So you are doing 6 minus 4 whole square. This is for also 3 times because there are 3 elements. So ultimately you are getting the results of 24. And what will be the degrees of freedom for the between case? There are 3 groups. You are so there will be, and you are comparing between case. So since there are 3 groups, then your degrees of freedom will be 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. This will be your degrees of freedom. M minus 1, 2. Okay. And now you compute the part of sum of square within. So sum of square within the group, you need to compute, you need to subtract each element from the group mean. So 3 minus 2 whole square plus 2 minus 2 whole square plus 1 minus 2 whole square plus 5 minus 4 whole square plus 3 minus 4 whole square plus 4 minus 4 whole square plus 5 minus 6 whole square plus 6 minus 6 whole square plus 7 minus 6 whole square. So you are getting a value of, here you are getting a value of sum of square within is equal to 6. And what is the degrees of freedom? Within each group, you are having 3 elements. So for each group, you are getting a degrees of freedom 2. So here 2 plus 2 for this group, for 2 for this group. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. So here sum of square within is equal to 6. So you can see that the sum of square total was 30 and sum of square between was 24 and sum of square within is equal to 6. So if you add sum of square within plus sum of square between, 24 plus 6 will provide you 30. And similarly, in case of degrees of freedom, if you find the degrees of freedom, there you can also see that the total degrees of freedom was 8 for the model, and sum of square between was 2, and sum of square within it was 6. So 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. The total degrees of freedom that you are getting. And also the formula is the same. For total degrees of freedom, the formula was m into n minus 1. For sum of square between, it is m minus 1, and then for sum of square within, the formula is m into n minus, within bracket, n minus 1. So you will get the term mn minus 1. That is the total sum of square. Okay. So now here you'd like to test. Now you'd like to compute the F statistic. So what you are going to do here, you want to check whether the sum of square between divided, actually you are doing here sum of square between divided by m minus 1 divided by sum of square within divided by m into n minus 1. This is the degrees of freedom for sum of square between, and this is the degrees of freedom for within case. So 24 by 2 divided by 6 by 6 is equal to 12 by 1 is equal to 12. So F statistic you are getting 12. So basically here by calculating the F statistic, you are comparing whether the mean between the groups is sufficiently larger than the mean within the group. So sorry, the variation that you are going to consider, the variation between the group is sufficiently larger than the variation within the group. So that you are considering, and you are, from the result, 12 is a very large number. So you can understand, even without checking the F distribution table, you can easily understand that here in this example, the variation between the group is sufficiently larger than the variation within the group. Okay. So now if you consider the F distribution table, there you will also see the same result. In F distribution table, you are considering alpha is equal to 0.10. So this F curve is for alpha value 0.10, and this table also gives you the results for the alpha value is equal to 0.10. That means the confidence level is 90%. And here the degrees of freedom is 2,6. Okay, the degrees of freedom between is 2 and within is 6. So first we should talk about between, that is 2, and then we should talk about within, that is 5. Sorry, yes, 6. So 2 and 6, where they are intersecting? They are intersecting here. This value is 3.46. This is the cutoff value. So if this is your cutoff value in F distribution, 3.46, your value is 12, lies somewhere here. So in this case, you can conclude that your statistic is greater than the cutoff value. So this is, in this zone, you cannot reject your null hypothesis, but in this case, you can reject your null hypothesis. So you reject null hypothesis. That means there is sufficient evidence that the medicine or the food or the vaccine that you are implementing, it is making a difference. So all the means of the groups, mean means I'm talking about the population means, because in case of hypothesis testing, you are inferring you actually the population level you are considering. So you are finding out the decision at population level. So the medicine or the vaccine or the food has a significant effect. Because why it has a significant effect? What does it mean? Because the means are different. The means could be only, the population mean can be only different if the medicine has some effect on the response variable. Okay, because and you are considering here only one way ANOVA. So you are not considering any other factor. So this is the example of one way ANOVA. You can think it like this, that their physical immunity is same. For the three groups, their physical immunity is same, that you can consider. So this is the example of one way ANOVA. There is a little rectification. Actually, we are not using one particular medicine or one particular vaccine. Here we are implementing three different types of foods or three different types of medicines or three different types of vaccines to check their effect on the response variable, and whether the mean for each group is different, whether all the group means are equal, or some of them or all of them are different or not. That we are actually checking here. After that, we are going to discuss this another example. Okay, we have added one slide. We have added here the idea of the null hypothesis and alternative or research hypothesis will be clear for this example. We can see that here the null hypothesis is three different foods or medicines will have no significant difference in effects on the response or dependent variables, as the population means of all the groups, which are actually the effects, are equal. And your alternative or research hypothesis was all or some of the foods or medicines will have significant difference in effects on the response or dependent variable, as all the population means of all the groups or some of the population means of some of the groups, which are actually the effects, are not equal. And we have performed this analysis at the significance level alpha is equal to 0.10 and confidence level is equal to 90%. Okay. So this example is this was the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis for the example that we just stated. Okay. And now we are going to discuss another case study or another example, that is this example. Okay. This is the example. So here you can see that there are, this is also one-way ANOVA. It is box plots are used here. But even if we do not know about box plots, then also we are able to carry out or conduct one way another. That's why I am not going into describing the box plots. Just take a look at this example. There is one dependent variable, that is annual income, and there is another independent variable. The independent variable is educational qualification, and this independent variable can be classified into four categories. One is no educational qualification, another is school educational qualification, and vocational training qualification, and degree qualification. So your null hypothesis is new none is equal to new school, is equal to new vocational, is equal to new degree. That means for all the degree holders, the annual salary is same whenever you are considering the population. And in case of alternative hypothesis, all the means are not the same. Okay. Now notice that all the means are not the same. It does not mean that all the means are different. Earlier also we have seen here, as all the populations or some of the populations are not equal. Okay. So here you can see that all the populations are not the same. It does not mean all the means are not same. It does not mean that all the means are different. Okay. Now, why I am giving this example? Because suppose if the null hypothesis gets rejected, then the alternative hypothesis will tell you that there is enough evidence that all the means are not same. But it doesn't mean that all the means are different. So how can you understand that which particular means are different and which particular means are same? All the means may be different, but it is not necessary. Okay, so that's why we need to conduct post hoc test. Okay, so just have a look at this one. Here in this example, you have found that null hypothesis is rejected. P is low, so null must go. Null hypothesis is rejected, so alternative hypothesis you can consider. Now the post hoc test of ANOVA, here they have conducted Cohen's d test, which is known as a post hoc test of ANOVA. In post hoc test, they have found out the statistic and they have also found out the p-values. Now you can see that p-value for all the cases are significant except this one. All the cases are significant. That means in all these cases, for example, if you compare if you compare the no educational qualification and school level educational qualification, then their mean is sufficient, their mean is different, because the significance level is significant, P is very less. Okay. But here in this case, in all the other cases, same. But in this particular case, you can see that p-value is 0.876, but you have conducted your alpha value was 0.05. So p-value is greater than your alpha value, 0.876. So this is not significant. So you can conclude that the school level degree holders and vocational degree holders, they have not very much different in terms of their income level is not actually different. Okay, so that conclusion you can do. So you can understand that in this case, some, if the null hypothesis is rejected, then it might happen that some of all the means are different. It's not necessarily that all the means are different. It it may be or may not be. It may be that all the means are different. It may be, but it also could be that some of the means are same, like this. In this case, some of the means are same. Okay, so ANOVA test, it will only tell you that all the means are not same. All the means are not same. Here that we have also represented that all of the population means are not equal. Okay, all the population means are not equal. But here we can, it is confusing. We can actually delete this part. Some of the population means, it is confusing. Better to describe it in the latter part. So it means all the population means are not equal. Okay, so we have done it. All the means are not equal. I'm saving it. But all the population means are not equal. It does not necessarily mean that all the population means are different. So I am also writing this thing. It equals star mark. So I am putting here star. So it does not mean that all the, it does not necessarily mean, it does not necessarily mean that all the means are different. Some of the means even could be equal. Okay, so now I'm saving it. So this is the idea of why that post hoc test you need to conduct. Only the ANOVA, only conducting ANOVA will not give you the whole picture. So in some cases, you need to implement or you need to apply post hoc tests like Cohen's d-test. So now there are some assumptions of ANOVA: independent samples, well modeled by normal distribution, variance of group same. If these assumptions, variance of group same, this is a very important thing, because just have a look at this one. Variance is standard deviation square. Okay, so you can see that here there are 4 groups, and in this particular case, degree, these variations, non-school and vocational, these variations are more or less close to each other. But in this case, degree, the variation is more. Okay, so if this type of condition arises, then it is not very wise decision to implement ANOVA instead of ANOVA, we can use, or if the distribution is not, it does not follow the normal distribution, then also you can use Kruskal-Wallis test, which is a non-parametric test, instead of ANOVA. But in practical experience, most of the researchers, they have found that in most of the cases they have found similar results. Even if they have implemented ANOVA, they have got similar sort of results like Kruskal-Wallis. So that is the story of one-way ANOVA. Now I will describe about two-way ANOVA. So in this case, you can see that there is one dependent variable. The example is given based on an arithmetic test. There is one dependent variable, which is test score, and there are two independent variables. One is gender and another is age group. There are two genders, boys and girls, and age group, there are three age groups: 10-year-old, 11-year-olds, and 12-year-olds. So now these are the hypotheses. Okay. So the hypotheses are in two-way ANOVA, interaction effects are also considered. The null hypothesis is gender will have no significant effect on student score. Alternative hypothesis is gender will have significant effect on student score. Another is null hypothesis, age will have no significant effect on student score. Alternative hypothesis, age will have significant effect on student score. Then again, the null hypothesis, this is interaction effect. Null hypothesis is gender and age interaction will have no significant effect on student score. And the alternative hypothesis will be gender and age interaction will have significant effect on student score. So now take a look at this. First, let us consider that this is a simple. Now let us consider first that we are not considering the two-way ANOVA. We are considering just one-way ANOVA, and there is no gender, only we are considering the age. So in that case, it will be the sum of square total will be 200. The calculation is just like the previous calculation. Sum of square between will be 93. Degrees of freedom is 2 because there are three groups, so you will have 2 degrees of freedom. Sum of square within is equal to 107 and degrees of freedom is equal to 15. So why it is 15? Because here is 5 plus 5 plus 5. There are 6 elements, so 5 plus 5 plus 5 within. So 15. So you are now calculating the F statistic. Okay. You will calculate the F statistics and you will compute it with the cutoff. You will compare it with the cutoff value. Now you can also think that there is no age. That is only gender is there. So in that case, one-way ANOVA, you will have again SST. Total sum of square is equal to 200. Sum of square between 32. Degrees of freedom, there are 2 groups, so the degrees of freedom will be 1. Sum of square within is equal to 160, and degrees of freedom will be 16. Okay. So now you are going to calculate the F statistic. Okay. But don't think that the results that you are getting here, these results will give you the answer of this hypothesis or this hypothesis. Because whenever you are writing this, gender will have no significant effect on student score, and you are writing this under the umbrella of two-way ANOVA, the factor of age is already there. So that is not getting captured in this analysis or in this analysis. So this result or this result you cannot use for this hypothesis testing or this hypothesis testing. You will have to follow a separate, something different procedure that we will describe. So this table actually you need to formulate. Sum of square between, first factor is gender, sum of square between for age, sum of square within, this is for error, sum of square within, this is error, sum of squares for both the factors, and this is the sum of square for total. Okay. And the columns are sum of square, degrees of freedom, mean square, and F score. F statistic, you can compute it in two ways. F statistic, you can compute it by the ratio of the variance or by the ratio of mean square, because mean square and variance both actually represent variation. So you can use either variance or you can use mean square to determine the F score. Okay. So now let's take a look at how this will be computed. Okay. So first, determine sum of square total. So obviously for sum of square total, the sum of square total is 200. Sum of square total is 200. Okay. Because how to calculate the 200? We have seen previously that there was the grand mean, and if you subtract each element from the grand mean and if you square it, then you will get the sum of total sum of square. Okay. And now the degrees of freedom, so that is 200. Now degrees of freedom, so degrees of freedom, here you can see that there are the degrees of freedom here is 70. Why 70? Because altogether there are 18 elements. So 18 minus 1 is equal to 17. So that's why we have put here 17. Now sum of square for first factor, gender 32 1, sum of square for second factor, sum of square between, that is 93 and 2. Why? Because just have a look at this one. This will be same like this, as the same thing that you have calculated for first one-way ANOVA, the same thing will be there. Why? Because in sum square between, in case of sum square between, you are actually subtracting the mean value from the grand mean value from the grand mean, because you are comparing in between. So mean value from the grand mean for 6 times. We had 6.5 minus 9 or 9 minus 6.5 whole square into 6 plus 8.5 minus 9 whole square into 6 plus 12 minus 9 whole square into 6. Or here in this case, 7.67 minus 9 whole square into 9 plus 10.33 whole square, sorry, 9 minus 10.33 whole square into 9. So that you are calculating as sum square between will be 32, here it will be 93. There are 3 groups, so you will get the degrees of freedom 2. Here there are 2 groups, so we will be getting the degrees of freedom will be 1. So those things are written. Now the sum of square within, it will be different for one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA. That means whenever you are considering sum square between, that will not be the different for one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA. But whenever you are calculating sum of square within, these values will be different. Here, when suppose here, whenever you are considering sum of square within, how you are calculating that? Sum of square within means here you are getting the result of 168. How can you get 168? Because from the mean, from this mean 7.67, you are subtracting each of the elements. Each of the elements. Okay, 7.67 minus 4 whole square plus 7.67 minus 6 whole square plus 7.67 minus 8 whole square plus 7.67 minus 6 whole square in this way, and then plus 10.33 minus 4 whole square plus 10.33 minus 8 whole square plus 10.33 minus 9 whole square plus 10.33 minus 7 whole square. In this way, you are calculating the sum of square within. Okay, and ultimately you are getting 168. So you are considering basically 7.67 and 10.33, which are the mean of these groups, boys and girls. Okay, but it is not taking care of the age group. Similarly, in this case also, whenever you are calculating this mean, it is only considering the age groups. It is not considering boys or girls, that means the gender. So you are subtracting each element from this mean. So sum square within, whenever you are saying the term within, it is basically within boys or it is basically within girls. But in case of two-way ANOVA, when you are considering, so what you need to do? You need to, if you want to find sum of square within for two-way ANOVA, then 6 minus 4 whole square, 6 minus 6 whole square, 6 minus 8 whole square, plus 7 minus 6 whole square, plus 7 minus 6 whole square. In this way, you need to calculate the value. And here also you will have the same thing. If you consider here, you will get the same thing, 6 minus 4 whole square, then 6 minus 6 whole square, 6 minus 8 whole square, then 7 minus 4 whole square, 7 minus 8 whole square, 7 minus 9 whole square, the same thing, 7 minus 4 whole square, 7 8 minus 8 whole square, 7 minus 9 whole square. So ultimately you are getting the sum of square within is equal to 68. This you are getting. So what is the difference between that? All the elements you are subtracting in this case or in this case, you are subtracting all the elements from this mean or this mean, that means the group mean, which represents only one group. But whenever you are considering all subtraction of all the elements from this mean or this mean, they are not only representing, these means are not only representing boys gender, these are representing also the age group. For example, if you take 10, it represents girls and the 11 years. If we take 10, it is representing boys and 12 years. Similarly, here also the same thing. So these means and these means are not same. These means only can represent this one particular factor. But this, whenever I'm saying this means can take care of both the factors. So whenever you are conducting two-way ANOVA, so sum of square within, hence the sum of square within will be different, because instead of any one type of group mean, you are considering both the group means. So both the factor mean, actually. Both the factors you are considering, not only one factor. So you will get the result of here 68. So if you, the total is 200, so you know all the things. So if you subtract, you can easily find out the sum of square for both factors, that will be 7. So similarly, what will be the sum of square within? That is 12. How 12 the with? How it is 12 sum of square within for two-way ANOVA? How it can be 12? Because there are, you can see that there are 6 blocks. So in one block, which is representing both the factors, there are 3 elements. So 3 minus 1 for each block, there is 2 degrees of freedom. So there are 6 blocks. So you will have 12, a total of 12 degrees of freedom for all the blocks which are representing both the factors for two-way ANOVA. So it is 12. So now sum of square total is equal to 17. So you can easily calculate 2, or alternatively you can also multiply 1 into 2 for both the factors. We will also get 2. So mean square, so that is represented as sum of square divided by degrees of freedom. So you are getting that, these values. And then if you are calculating F score means the mean square, the ratio of the mean square, because you are considering you are comparing the variance. So 32 sum of square between, this is the sum of square between 32 divided by sum of square within this mean square. Okay. You are considering. So sum of 32 by 5.67, 46.50, 5.67, and here 3.5 divided by 5.67. So ultimately you are getting these scores. So now these are actually the results of your this hypothesis. Okay. So now you can find, now let's check the first hypothesis. In case of the first hypothesis, so F is equal to 5.64. Okay, 32 by 1 by 68 by 12. So the degrees of freedom for SSB, sum square between, that is 1, and sum square within, it is 12. 1 and 12. So, and alpha, you are performing the test at alpha, or the significance level is equal to 0.05. So this is the table for 0.05. So degrees of freedom 1, 12. So this 1, this is, you can see 1, 12. So they are intersecting this value 4.75. So your F statistics is here, somewhat here 5.64, and here this is your cutoff 4.75. So it is beyond this. So you reject the null hypothesis. Okay. So their gender will have significant effect on student score. This is your 1%. There is enough evidence that gender will have significant effect on students. So similarly, here you can see the degrees of freedoms are 2 and 12, and sum of square between and sum of square within is 2 and 12, and your alpha is equal to 0.05. So here 2 and 12, they are intersecting at 3.89. Your value is 8.2. Okay. So your value is 8.2. So the cutoff is 3.89. So in this case also, age will have significant. This is null hypothesis, reject null hypothesis. That means there is enough evidence that age will have significant effect on student score. And now this is your third hypothesis, that interaction effect, gender and age. Here in this case, sum of square between the degrees of freedom is 2 and sum of square within the degrees of freedom is 12. 2, 12. So 2 and this is 12. They are intersecting at 3.89. So you are getting the F value is equal to 0.62. So, but your cutoff value is 3.89. Here you lies 0.62. So gender and age will have no significant interaction. Gender and age interaction will have no significant effect on students' score. So in the first case, you reject the null hypothesis. In the second case, you also reject the null hypothesis. But in the third hypothesis case, you fail to reject the null hypothesis. This is this is all about your two-way ANOVA.